you guys. I normally don't come on Fridays, so this is definitely a surprise broadcast. For those of you who follow me, you know my normal days are Mondays and Wednesdays, 8:30 a.m. and 2 o'clock p.m. But hey Tanisha, no, that's Tyra, Shanae, how are you? Thank you for joining on Periscope. Hello to all of my Facebook followers. I am actually dual broadcasting, and I made a post recently on Facebook about jumping. Hey, how are you? Thanks for joining. I just made a post on Facebook. Hello, darling. Shantaz Stylist, how are you? Thank you for joining. As you're coming on, guys, if you could do me a favor, if you've been on with me before, you know that the broadcast is going to be good. So share out with your followers. On Periscope, you can press the little three buttons on the bottom to share with your friends, followers, or someone on Twitter. On Facebook, you can press the little share button on the left-hand side to share out with another industry professional, right? Hey there, how are you? Edmund 1807, thanks for joining on Periscope. I'm going to take a quick moment to kind of say hello to everybody. As you're coming in the room, make sure to tell me what state you're joining me from today. Make sure to tell me where you're joining me from, and your name too, not just your handle, your name, so we can get acquainted. Okay, guys, this is not my normal scheduled broadcast, right? Hey, Sharon, how are you, dear? My normal scheduled broadcast is Mondays and Wednesdays, but I had a thought and I just had to get it out. I had to share. And it's about planning and jumping. Now, most of you, if you are in the internet world at all, the big buzz phrase right about now is the word jump, right? Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Awesome, awesome, awesome. By way of 2 states. That's what I'm talking about. The big buzzword going around social media now is the word jump. And so I made a post on Facebook, and then I was just really thinking about how there are just some times in life. Now, I'm huge on planning, guys. Let me do a quick introduction. Miami and Florida, that's what I'm talking about. I'm really huge on planning. I'm big on vision, which means, vision is where you're headed, right? Not where you are necessarily now, but where you're headed. And so in midst of having a vision for where you're headed, one of the huge aspects many entrepreneurs, hairstylists, and beauty industry professionals miss is planning. So quick introduction. I'm Tanya Wilson-Cherry. I'm a business consultant and certified life coach. I have a 20-plus year background in the beauty industry as a licensed cosmetologist and 10 years as a former salon owner. I help hairstylists and salon owners gain new customers, maintain the customers they have, and profit for real in their business. I help them form working systems that help take them to the next level, save time and money, all while creating a lifestyle that they love. And one of my huge phrases, I believe that your mind has a lot to do with your money and everything else that you set out to do. And so today we're going to go just a little deeper. This is a quick broadcast. It's not my normally scheduled one, in the aspect of planning, right? And jumping. Jumping is that big buzz phrase that many people are grasping onto on social media. And I believe Steve Harvey has made the word jump mean, something totally different now. And it's great because I believe, even though I wholeheartedly believe in planning, I believe we should have a plan. I don't think we should just randomly be running our business or our life. I feel that planning helps to define how we end up at our destination, right? So I'm huge on planning, but I also feel that there comes a point in time in your life when you've done all the planning, right, that you have to jump. You have to jump. You have to say, I'm going to make this sacrifice. I'm going to do this different, completely different, because I am embracing new seasons in my life. No doubt, new seasons are happening and they're occurring all the time in my life. At the end of the day, I am actually ending up with the same results. And most of the time that happens because, we really feel that we've done everything that we know how to do. We've done everything that we know how to do. And the key there is that we've done everything that we know how to do. And so it can fool us into thinking either that it's not going to work, or because we've tried something else that we know how to do, that this time is going to be it. But oftentimes, if you really go back and take a look at your life, you'll say, okay, this thing is cyclic. Like what's occurring in my life is a cycle where I'll have this season that feels, like it's going to be great. And then all of a sudden my end result is the same thing that it was in 2016 or the same thing it was in 2015, 14, or 13. It's a cycle. And so it's a few things that we always have to look at when that's occurring. And thanks, guys. As I'm speaking, if something pricks your life or your business, make sure, hey TC, how are you, dear? Make sure that you tap the screen for heart. Show a girl a little love, right? And share out with your followers either on Periscope or Facebook. But oftentimes when we, know that it's a new season, but when we really look down on it, it's actually the same result that we've been getting. We have to ask ourselves some questions, right? Like when we think about planning, this is one thing I realized as a business consultant with stylists and salon owners and other entrepreneurs, because I do service other entrepreneurs as well, but my focal point is hairstylists and salon owners. But one thing I noticed is we have to understand what planning really is. Planning is not necessarily the thoughts that we have in our mind about what we're going to do. It's really strategy. Thank you for joining again. Planning is really strategy, guys. It's like, I'm going to take this step is going to lead me to this step, and then I'm going to do this. It doesn't mean that everything that you're planning is going to go exactly the way that you planned it out, but your plan is going to give you a level of confidence. And at some point, you have to move from the planning stages. At some point, you have to stop putting it on paper if you get to that point, because if you haven't written it down yet, it's still a dream. You guys know that, right? A dream is still a dream if it's not written on paper. If it's still in your head, if you're still talking about what you're going to do, even if you're having the conversations with other people and you haven't written that thing down, you haven't put a strategy on it, it's still a dream. And that was an aha statement for me years ago. When I heard that statement, I was like, what? So all of the stuff that I've been saying that I'm going to do is really, I'm still in the dreaming stages because I haven't written it down. Yes, guys, if you have all these plans and they're in your head, you're still in the dreaming stages. You really haven't strategized that thing out. And so this is maybe one of the reasons why in your mind, remember I said your mind has a lot to do with your money and everything else you set out to do. So in your mind, you've planned to do things different. But you guys have to know that the thoughts in your mind are competing with thousands of other thoughts, right? And so those thoughts are trying to decide which one is she going to take action on, or which one is he going to take action on. So if your plans are still in your head, then they are still in the dreaming stages. It's not officially a plan, right? And so this may be where some of your frustration is coming in, or this may be where you may feel like all of these new seasons are occurring, or you're doing everything that you know to do, but at the end of the day, results in 2017, hey darling, how are you, Jamaica? The results in 2017 still look like the results from 2016 or 15 or 14. So that's the first thing about planning, right? A real plan, guys, it's on paper. It's strategized out. It's not just in your mind. So this is one of the concepts that you have to grasp and understand about your destiny, because if it's still in your head, it's still in the dreaming stages. I'm just going to give y'all some aha moments. It's the same aha moment that I got years ago. CC Fox, hey girl, hey, how are you? Thank you for joining. It's the same aha moment that I got years ago when I was planning to do something in my head, but I had not strategized that thing out, right? And so this is the next thing, because we're talking about planning and jumping. And this is as far as your destiny, whether it's your business, relationships, whatever it is that you're trying to do, you got to strategize it. It has to be on paper. When you begin to put things on paper, it's going to make sense for you. As long as you're replaying the thoughts in your mind, you're never going to be able to clearly define what your next move should be. You guys don't hear me, right? So if you're not writing it down, if you're not strategizing, then you're still in the dreaming stages, and you got to get out of that. That's kind of like a broadcast that I talked about recently, where I talked about reflect, reposition, and focus. Remember, reflecting is where you're just thinking about it. So if you keep telling yourself, I have all these plans, I plan to do this and I plan to do that, and you haven't quite gotten to the reposition stage, which is the stage where you're actually strategizing it. You're actually saying, okay, what would happen if I do this? And if I do this, what do I need in order to make it happen? That's called strategy. That's one of the things that I'm a systems person. So I teach strategies and systems that help take you to the next level. One of the greatest things I do for entrepreneurs is help them to gain clarity. Because many times, like I said before, we're fighting the thoughts in our own head. Nothing's on paper. It's not real yet. It's still here. We're still dreaming. So now let's talk about jumping, right? Because oftentimes, because we've only put things in our head, because our thoughts are only competing with each other, right? They're only in our head. We're still kind of dreaming. We think we're planning, but we're still dreaming. But because we have not really created a true strategy, we never really take action. You guys don't hear me. Because we have not really created a true strategy, we never really take action. Or if we do take action, it always seems to be hit or miss because we didn't thoroughly plan it out. We didn't thoroughly strategize. We didn't really take a real look at the things that we were planning for our destiny, for our business. Listen, when you guys really learn how to strategize on another level, right, it's going to define some of the things that we say. They make sense in our head, but once we put it on paper, we say, you know what, that's not possible for right now. I didn't say it wasn't possible, right? But we may say, you know what, that's not possible for right now because in actuality, in order for me to do this, I need this, this, and this, right? That's the benefit of writing your vision and making it plain for you believers. Y'all hear me? That's Habakkuk 2:2 for those of you who are believers who are on the broadcast. It says write the vision and make it plain so that if it tarries, which means if it takes a while, it won't tarry. Eventually, it's going to come to pass. But many of you, your planning stages are off. You need another level of planning and strategizing. And so some of you jump, right? But because you haven't strategized, it doesn't work. It doesn't work because you haven't said, okay, well, if I do this, I need this, or this is going to have to be connected to that in order for that to happen. And then some of you who may be planning, some of you may be writing things down, may be getting tons and tons of information, but you won't jump. You don't hear me. Most people are in one or two stages. They haven't fully planned it out. They don't really understand what strategizing is, or they're planning all the time, right? And they're never taking action on that particular thing. But guys, if you continue to see these cyclic circles in your life, right? New seasons are occurring, but at the end of the day, the results are really the same. And we can be fooled into thinking because we did something different that we knew how to do, right? That we've tried everything. But guys, when you guys, yes, dear, when you guys are looking to go to the next level, here's one of the biggest things that you're going to need. You're going to need new information. I wish I could stress how important this is. If you're going to change the trajectory of your business or your life, your destiny, or how things are going, you're going to need new information, guys. A couple things, this really stemmed from a post that I made on Facebook, and I began thinking about it on another level and thinking about what it may mean to different people, because I understand that everyone doesn't know what planning is. Everybody doesn't know, right? Because they feel that, they've decided in their mind that they're going to do something different, that's a plan. That's not a real plan. It's still in the dreaming stages. Hello, somebody. You guys tap the screen if this is if this is registering for you. If you understand what I'm saying and this is helping you, tap the screen. Show a girl some love. Let me know that the information you're receiving is registering to you, because my assignment is to bring clarity to you, because many of us are stuck because our idea of a thing is not the fullness of what it really is, right? So remember, I'm going to go back to this one stage. If your plans, if your dreams are not written out on paper with a strategy, right, you're still in the dreaming stages. You're still in the dreaming stages. And so you can be fooled into thinking that you're making all of these plans, but nothing is working, but you haven't strategized it. Or you may be in a position where you're doing all this planning, but you won't take action on it. You won't take action on it. Sometimes you have to make a sacrifice. Many of you make sacrifices all the time to get a new pair of shoes, to go eat that meal at a restaurant. All of those are sacrifices. And see, once you write things down on paper, I'm a numbers girl, right? So each year around October, September or October, one day, thank you for joining, I began to plan out my new year. For instance, I have a course called 3D Success Mentorship and Branding Bootcamp for Hairstylists. It's March the 27th. I planned that last year, right? I planned that like October of last year, right? That wasn't something that I came up with on the draw, because I knew that once I came up with the idea, I needed to sit down and figure out what's going to be in the program, right? What do the hairstylists and salon owners need to hear from me who are going to take it? And then what resources do I have to have in order to bring value to the program for them, right? So that's planning. I put a date on it. My date was March of this year. I dropped it so that it would fall on that date. It was all strategy, guys, right? You got to learn how to strategize and how to plan if you want to take your life and your business to the next level. But after you've done all that, you got to jump, guys. And many of you won't jump because you don't have confidence. And the confidence is going to come from the research that you do and the amount of information that you have on whatever it is that you're trying to do. Y'all don't hear me. See, lack of confidence will keep you from jumping. Lack of confidence will keep you from jumping. But when you've gone through all the measures to get the information that you need, y'all don't hear me, to get the information that you need, it's going to give you another level of confidence that's going to say, okay, you know what? I've done my homework. I've done my research. I've taken the class. I've taken the course. I've connected with whoever I need to connect with. It's time to jump. It's time to jump. That's Cutesy Neow, thank you for joining on Periscope. So guys, I want you guys to define, really get clear, like, have I really planned this thing out, or am I still in the dream stages with my business, right? Do I have a real strategy planned out for the moves that I intend on making, or have I just been telling myself that I plan to do this or I plan to do that, right? What are we telling ourselves? Because we can get in that routine and be in the routine for a long time, and then we look and 5 and 10 years have gone by and we're still sitting on the same dream because we haven't made it plain. We haven't made the dream plain by writing it out and strategizing. And then the next thing is, if you're having trouble jumping, it's probably because you need a level of confidence in order to move forward. Your confidence is going to come from the information that you have about whatever it is that you're going to do. I've been working with one young lady who is opening her salon, right? She's been working with me probably about 1.5 to 2 years, strategizing, planning. When it was time for her to jump, she didn't call me and say, should I open my salon tomorrow? She called me and said, I found a building. And I didn't question it because I knew that she had gone through every measure that she could to get the information that she needed. Now, is she nervous? Probably, right? But there's a confidence down on the inside of her because she has strategized this thing out and she's gotten the information that makes her feel a little more comfortable about what she's getting ready to do. And so, guys, you're going to have to make some sacrifices if you're looking to go to the next level, right? You're going to have to start really learning how to plan and strategize your business, and then you're going to have to be able to take action on it, right? And that's going to come from your confidence. And so I wanted to kind of be clear on that and give you guys some clarity, because many of you are jumping without a plan. Many of you are jumping without a plan. Now, a plan doesn't mean that you know exactly how everything is going to happen. Many people are jumping without a plan. And so then they're feeling like everything that they're doing isn't working. But oftentimes it's because they didn't have quite enough information for the move that they're about to make. Now, I'm not saying that you can't learn along the way, because we all learn along the way. We all learn along the way. But there is a level of confidence that you gain from the new information that you need that helps you move more strategically in what you're doing, right? So that you're not having all of these new seasons that feel just like 2013. Like I'm doing something different, right? That I know how to do myself, but it feels just like last year. If I could be honest, these are the conversations that you guys are probably having with yourself. Like, I'm doing everything that I know how to do, but in all honesty, this feels just like it did in 2013, 14, 15, 16, the end result. So you guys want to be better about planning and strategizing. If you don't know how, you need to get some help. The next thing you need to do, guys, in order to build your confidence so that you can jump, because some of you have just been planning forever. Some of you have taken thousands of classes. You've watched hundreds of videos, right? But you just will not take action on it. And that's because you don't have the confidence, right? You haven't been able to put all the information into a system that makes you feel comfortable enough to jump. But at some point, you got to stop planning. For those of you who are big on the planning part, remember I said there's probably two sides. There's probably some people who feel they've been planning, but the plans really have been in their mind and they really haven't been creating a real strategy. And then there are probably others who that's all they do is write it out and get more information and more information and more information, but they never jump. At some point, you have to jump. At some point, you have to jump. And jumping is different for different people. You guys have to know that, because everyone is on a different level. Everyone's definition of success is different. And so their next move is going to be different. And just because Sally made this move over here, it doesn't necessarily, is that Pat? Hey there, how are you? It doesn't necessarily mean that that's the move that you need to make. And this is what strategy does for you guys. A real strategy, when you create a real strategy, or a real plan, when your vision is clear and defined, you can actually figure out what step you need to make next. Not because Sam did it, right? But what's going to be the next best step for you and your destiny and your business. So guys, this wasn't an opportunity for anything except to help you guys gain some clarity on what it means to really plan and what it means to jump. Because if the same thing is cyclically going on in our life, season after season after season, we have to do something different. It's just, at some point, you got to say, you know what? I need to jump. It's time to jump. I've gotten all my information. I've tried the same thing over and over and over again, and I need to jump. For those of you that are feeling that way, you may need to do something different. You may need to do something different. So guys, your confidence is going to help you jump when it's time to take that move. That's you. All right. All right, Cece, listen. Guys, your new season needs new information, and many times we feel like we've tried everything. You needed this. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Many times we feel like we've tried everything, but most of the time we've only tried everything that we know how to do. That's what really has gone on. We've only tried everything that we know how to do. And so oftentimes new information is what you need for a new season, for your season to really look like it's changing. Because life is changing all the time. Whether it looks like it to us or not, whether we're experiencing it different, it's changing. It's changing. But are we actually changing with it, right? Are we doing what we need to do in order to experience something different in our life and in our business? This is good. Oh, awesome, awesome. So guys, how can we contact you for coaching? You can go to bit.ly/workwithtanya. If someone could scribe that for me, that would be great. bit.ly/workwithtanya. And I also have I don't know if you're in the hairstyling community or a salon owner, but I actually have an amazing program that comes up on March the 27th. It's 8 weeks of time with me, right? And also I've brought in 3 other experts. But the first part of the 3D Success Mentorship and Branding Bootcamp is on vision and vision clarity, because many of you won't be able to make the right move if you're not clear about it, right? So I can teach you all the strategies on marketing your business. Thank you for that, Crystal. I appreciate it. I can teach you all the strategies on marketing your business and growing your salon. But if you don't have clarity on where you need to go, right, what your next level is, you'll continue making moves that aren't going to get you to your next level. So we spend that first week in the 3D Success Bootcamp on vision and clarity. Getting clear, like, what is it that I really want me? Like, what's my idea of success? What's my individual vision, and how do I get there? And then the last week, which is the 8th week of the boot camp, I give you guys a 12-month plan. It's your plan, but I help you to really strategize what you need to do over the next 12 months. And that's another thing, because sometimes you guys will try something, right? And if it doesn't work immediately, you go on to the next thing, right? And so you haven't built any foundation in a thing. And so I help you to strategize in the last 8 weeks what we're going to do for the next 12 months that is going to bring this vision that we talked about in the beginning to pass. And in between that, we have the money conversation. We talk about marketing and pricing and branding your business. And the link to that, if you're a hairstylist and you wanted to connect with me that way, is bit.ly/3D success. bit.ly/3D success. You better say that. I'm excited. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I love the opportunity to work with you guys. I've dug in the crates for this program that I've created. But first of all, I just wanted to kind of tell you guys the difference in planning and jumping, and why many people don't have the confidence to jump, right? Because they haven't really planned it out. Remember, we said planning, right? If your plans are still in your head, it's still in the dreaming stages. It's still in the dreaming stages. That was an aha moment for me too, guys, right? It was an aha moment for me too. It was like, I got all these plans, and then 5 years later, I got all these plans. And then, I heard that phrase and I was like, wow, I'm still in the dreaming stages, because I really haven't strategized this thing. It doesn't have any dates on it, right? It doesn't have any steps that are going to help lead me to completion. And so that's really how I began talking a lot about vision and planning and forming systems. Probably about 6 years ago, I did my first vision class. And so I incorporate that with just about everything that I teach, because I realize if you don't know where you're headed, you'll go anywhere. If you don't know where you're headed, you'll go anywhere. But guys, that's my take. It wasn't a planned broadcast. I just had the thoughts of planning and jumping on my mind. And I wanted to share that with you guys and hopefully give you guys a little clarity and maybe help you to determine, what is it that I need to do next? What is it that I need some help on? How much is the class? The class is, it's an 8-week course for $497. Now you can save your seat for $50, and that will enroll you for weekly installments. So I made it so that you guys can do weekly installments. I think the installment is around $60 a week, but it's only $50 to save your seat, and then that'll set you up for the weekly installments. And so it's amazing. You guys go to the, for the young lady that's asking about the opportunity to coach with me or work with me, go to the landing page. It explains the 8 weeks in detail. It also talks about the other 3 professionals that are going to join us in that boot camp. I'm hosting it. They're going to come on for 45 minutes to an hour, 3 of the weeks out of the 8 weeks. Also have someone who's doing skill set. So you guys are going to get full circle. That class is a full circle event. It's going to be mentoring, giving you best practices for your business. There are going to be strategies, marketing, planning. It's huge. It's what I felt. I had so many people wanting me to mentor them, and I knew I couldn't mentor that many people unless I did it in a group environment. So I developed the plan, and it's called 3D Success Mentorship and Branding Bootcamp. And guys, it also, you may see a date on it for, I think the 14th for the last day to be able to do weekly installments. I decided earlier while I was driving today that I wasn't going to put a date on when you could, when you were not able to do the weekly installments. So that's going to run until like a couple days before the boot camp begins. You'll actually still be able to sign up for the weekly installments. And I'll go and change that on the website as well. I'm super excited. I sent my email out, my 2-week email out to all of the people who had already joined, and I'm just excited. I'm really excited to pour out and to help people get clarity, right? Because we don't want to keep doing the same thing over and over again and, you know, ending up with the same results for years or feeling the same way about our life and business. And I'm also not just a business consultant, but I'm a certified life coach. So I incorporate portions of your life in that as well, because we can have a great business and our life suck, and then, you know, none of it feels good, right? So we want to master things full circle, right? We don't want to be just a great hairstylist and then maybe our life sucks. We want it all. We want abundance in every area of our life. So guys, that's my take on planning and jumping, right? At some point, you got to learn how to plan for real. And at some point, if all you've been doing is planning, you got to jump. You got to jump. I appreciate you guys as always. It's a surprise broadcast. Make sure you tap the screen for hearts if it touched your life or your business in any way as we leave off of the broadcast. And you can still share it out. Someone else needs to understand about planning and jumping. I appreciate you guys, and thank you, Jamaica. I saw that you scribed that for me. I appreciate it. Peace. Have a super awesome weekend, guys.